wonder if this change of color is gonna think it's a change of road. Yeah, it does, look at that. I guarantee you, it won't do it. It won't. See, it did that absolutely fine. Literally no problems at all. What lane's it gonna pick? It's picked the, it's aborting. It's aborted, sadly. Welcome back everybody to Tesla Driver. I hope you're doing very well. Today we're gonna be doing a Navigate on Autopilot video. So I'm gonna be giving you a full update on how the car now works on motorways and closed roads where Navigate on Autopilot works. So you can see at the moment, currently Navigate on Autopilot isn't turned on, but as soon as we get past this roundabout, it will turn itself on. It just, it doesn't like going all the way around this roundabout for some reason. You'll see what it does here is it turns it on, and then it starts to cut the roundabout up there. Now, the reason I wanted to show you that was I knew exactly what happened, and it's still an issue. I actually showed that issue months back, and it's still doing the exact same thing on the exact same bit of road. It's now asking me to confirm a lane change, but I don't want to be on that lane. I want to be in this lane, so I'll stay on this lane. So I'll cancel it. But yeah, right there, for some reason, it doesn't see the curb and it tries to drive over the curb and cut the corner, even though that is on Navigate on Autopilot, which I thought was a little bit odd. So in terms of settings, whoa, where are we going? We're going left. We're not meant to be going left, are we? Are we? Yes, we are. Okay, we are. Thank God for that. Whew. The car saw, I wasn't even focusing on where we were going there. I thought we were going at the next bridge, but as you saw, the car knew that we had to get off there. So you see it's slowing me down to 45, 40, really nicely here. It's indicating left, so I guess it can do all of this itself. Apply slight force, there you go. It's still on Navigate on Autopilot. There's no cars coming after this car, and you can see that it has done a roundabout. Well, right, I don't think it's meant to have done that, and it was pretty close to that car, but there was definitely space. That's obviously why I let it go, but it just did a roundabout and it didn't stop at the roundabout. That's really dangerous, because if you had Navigate on Autopilot on and you didn't understand that it can't do roundabouts yet, it would have just taken you across even if cars were coming. We were very lucky there to fit in when we did. Okay, so again, coming back onto the motorway here, you can see we're about to join it, and I need to initiate with a lane change. So there you go, confirm the lane change. The car's moving us over, and into this lane we go. And now what we're gonna do is every time I touch the wheel, every time I do something, I'm gonna show you guys that bit on camera. Now, if there's a long bit of time or a long stretch where I don't really do anything, I'll just skip forward. So if you see skips, that's the reason why. I'm gonna show you all the good stuff, and I'm gonna show you all the bad stuff as well on the motorway. Now, there's one issue with Autopilot on the motorway that just every single time I turn it off for, and that is if I'm in the third lane and I'm trying to get into this middle lane, but on the first lane like that, there's a big lorry. I know for a fact that my car will not sit into the lane next to it. It's a little bit weird. I'm gonna try and show it to you now really quick, because the car wants to overtake this car. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it down, and I'm just gonna get behind that van, okay? I guarantee you, it won't do it. It won't. See, look, won't do it, refuses. It says that lorry is in its lane, and now lane change has timed out, has elapsed. Now we've gone past the lorry and I wanna do it, it will go behind the van with no problems. So it's not the van, it's not the distance from the van or anything like that. It's literally having having a lorry on the left-hand side is the biggest issue with Navigate on Autopilot. I know that's a really weird thing, but that just is the weird issue that we're having. It's also picking up these distance arrows on the floor here, and you can also see that the car isn't regulating its distance to be a little bit further away to match the arrows. So I'm not sure if maybe it will do that in an update, but that's not something it can do yet. It's just guessing at what all the arrows are, and to be totally honest, it's not getting them right all the time. It's pointing arrows in different directions and putting them in different bits of the screen, but it worked fair enough. So I like to keep my car normally set at setting 3. So that was currently setting 1. So I normally, no, sorry, that was setting 3. My bad, I was going the other way. I like to keep my car sat at 3 distance, and we'll wait here. I'm on Mad Max, and let's see if the car asks us to go into that left lane. It did for a split second, then it stopped. So I'm gonna initiate the lane change myself, and across we go into that lane. So whenever there's no cars about, the lane changes are great. It's just when there's something on this first lane that it just really fails badly. Okay, so we're actually gonna try and navigate quickly up here. I don't know if I'm gonna get it in time, but let's see. So this might actually do Navigate on Autopilot off this exit for us. I just want to see if it will do. We'll try it on every exit actually if we can. So you see the car here slowing us down nicely, down to 50. Actually a little bit too slow for my likings, like 45 down here is a little bit slow, so I am accelerating to keep it at 45. And now Navigate and Autopilot turns off and we're going into a service station. So that actually worked really well. Not sure if it's going to be able to do this service station. Doesn't look like it. Looks a little bit confused. We're going this way. Wee, woo. We're all over the place. Hold on, I'm still going to let it do it. Still letting it. We're actually going all the way through, so we don't need to even turn off. So I'm holding the accelerator down, which is keeping it at 22 miles an hour. I'm now going to bring it all the way off, so it's doing it all on its own. And oh my God, that was so close to that curb. No one coming on the right. The car is sticking to the right here. I wonder if this change of color is going to think it's a change of road. Yeah, it does. Look at that. It's following this road now across here. And then I'm just going to put my location in that we're trying to get to next. The car is just like nagging me constantly. Still nagging. It's turned on though, still nagging, and no way, that was cutting straight across there. I left it as long as I could. I hope you guys saw that and appreciated that. I really did leave it as long as I could do, but it wasn't playing ball. Okay, so as we accelerate back up onto the motorway, I'm giving it a little push there because it's just coming on a little bit slow for me. We're indicating across, and there we go. As you can see, the car successfully comes back on. So for some reason though, it is stuck on indicate, even though I'm not indicating, or at least it wasn't changing the lanes. Now it's changing the lanes, and it's done that successfully. So that worked on off ramp and the whole way through a service center, except for that one tight bit at the end, worked perfectly. So we've got another one in 2.1 miles that we're going to come off at, and we're basically just going to be stopping at most of these on our journey down. I'm actually taking the car to Tesla service center in Cribbs Causeway currently, because as you'll see from, where is it? This, I've got a dodgy rim that's causing a flat, so they're going to have a look at that because that's down to 33 psi. And also another kind of weird one that I've got. Actually, it seems to have disappeared. No, there it is. This is a weird one. The charge port might not open when pressed. I can confirm that my charge port is never opening when I press it. So they said that they should be able to fix that quickly today. So we're taking it down and dropping it off. But I have actually got some different things that I have to do because we're currently in the time, not in quarantine, but we're in the time where Boris has asked everyone to keep meters apart, and Tesla have actually started to do that at their service centers. So we'll obviously find out what that's like when we get to it. Okay, so we're going to sit in this lane now for the final mile. We are coming off in 1 mile here, and it's not asking me to go around the lorries at all. I'm pretty sure about 1 or maybe 1.5 miles before each turn off, the car stops asking you to like go into the faster lane, and it just says stay in this lane. Interesting enough though, we've got 2 lorries that have left us like a big gap here. I don't know if the car's going to try and fill it, but it doesn't look like it. And you can actually see that this lorry is like a dark gray, which I think means traffic aware cruise control is actually following his speed, and it won't undertake him and go past him. So I think that is what this is trying to show us. I'm not 100% sure why these lorries are in this second lane, if I'm being totally honest. But they're in the second lane, so that's just that. Okay, we're coming off here, so the car should bring us off hopefully nicely. See, it started to indicate, and there we go. Whoa, that's a pull and a half for the car. And yeah, it's coming off this ramp really nicely. Now this is the ramp that I normally get onto the motorway, so I know that because it's a roundabout, it can't do navigate on autopilot here, so it just turns it back to normal autopilot, which obviously we don't want. Oh, this lane's only going left. I've just realized that. I actually want to go straight, so just get behind these guys. And then we're going straight back onto the motorway and back to Cribbs Causeway. So where is Cribbs Causeway? There it is. All right, we're back on. It says a 60, so we'll keep it at the 60. Navigate and autopilot's turned on, which is great. And we're coming on just in front of a lorry, but hopefully that shouldn't be a big issue for it. It's not doing it, and actually, look at that. Oh, it's pushing us. It's pushed us across. Wow. So that actually pushed us across the lane, and again, it's still doing that indicate thing. It pushed us across the lane because it wouldn't get in because of the lorry. Even though there was plenty of space, it freaks out around lorries. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not use Navigate on Autopilot for my on and off ramps, ever. Except if it's just me in the car and I'm playing around and I know that, like, okay, it might do this, it might not. I never use it when my children are in the car, when my partner's in the car, except for if I'm recording a video and she says it's okay. It actually picked up some bollards there on the left-hand side of the road. If you want to go back and check that out, it did pick up some bollards. Yeah, I never use it because it's really dodgy. It just doesn't work like you expect it to, and how it's kind of advertised for the on and off ramp. As we saw as well, so it's asking me to do a lane change, so I'm going to initiate it. Here you go, these are the pylons that it's picking up, these ones here on the side. As well as when we're going around a roundabout, it was still staying on Navigate on Autopilot, which just shows it's not quite there yet, and it's not quite ready to do all these kind of things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into the third lane, because we need to get around these lorries anyway. But what I'm hoping is, as I get around this first lorry, yeah, there is a lorry on the other side, and I can try it. There's lots of lines on the road, but the car's not picking anything else up or getting confused, which, you know, it shouldn't, but... Okay, here you go. That space behind that white van, perfect for us, you would have thought, right? It won't do it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Oh, no, oh, whoa, oh, it's not sure. Oh, it got us in. So it did it, but you saw it actually put the lorry in the middle lane. It then stuck us between the two lines for a second. So we were almost scare electrics down the motorway. And then it pushed us back in once it's decided. Now, it's never done that. It normally throws me straight back into my lane. Oh, I was meant to be coming off here for this junction, wasn't I? Sorry, totally forgot, guys. How quickly does Navigate on Autopilot turn on? That is the question. Not this quick. Will it do it? Will it do it? No, look at that. So it knew that it had to go Navigate on Autopilot there, but sadly it missed it, so it wasn't able to do it. But I'm quite happy that it didn't try and do it or try and do anything dodgy. So let's go around this car here. There's a bike, which it thought was in our lane for a split second, and then it moved it over. So Navigate on Autopilot has turned back on now. I totally forgot that there was an exit there. I think the next exit is a service station. So there's no one coming on. I'm going to take a left here behind this van. That sits there nicely. So where is the next on-off ramp? Yeah, it's not until the service station, which is all the way over here. So I will, in fact, you have to like put two hands for it to do that bit. Have a look at this. There's a speed camera up there, so obviously we're watching out. We're being watched at the moment, so we'll keep our wits about us. And that's where I want the car to navigate me to, please. And I'm going to go for an overtake because we're going a little bit slower than I'd like to go. Like I said previously on our roads, they won't stop. They won't actually take a photo of you unless you're going 78 miles an hour or over. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but that's kind of what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go for the overtake here, and we're just going to pass this van. There we go, picking up speed. I kind of want to get besides this this motorbike here and use the motorbike as almost like a reference, but I don't know if it will do. Okay, so the van's moving over. The van is totally in its own lane, so now I'll move over and sit just behind him. And again, see, that worked so nicely. This is where autopilot, though, comes into its own. When you're just like driving down a road and you've got nothing to do and you can just relax a bit and let the car do the driving. Honestly, I happily endorse this feature, but I just don't think it's ready yet. Oh, it's pushing me onto the other road, interestingly enough. I think it was because they might have been slightly confused about that vehicle to my left there. It's still asking me to move over, though, which is quite interesting. We're starting to get up to this bike, and you can see that it is picking up the bike. I wonder if it'll pick up this bike on a trailer. This will be really exciting. What have we got here? We've got an old school bike on a trailer. What does it think of it? It just thinks it's an SUV. Yeah, it's still just saying it's an SUV. Yeah, it's just an SUV. The car wasn't fussed by it at all, which is interesting. On these kind of roads, on these kind of drives, yeah, it's so worth it, and it's such a good feature, and it works all the time like this, like just driving like this like normal, yeah, you're not going to have any problems. It's when you're doing the little bit more extreme stuff, it has issues. But it is in beta. I just wish it was working like, at least as if it was advertised for the on and off ramp, and the indicating back into lorries and stuff. All right, we've got a van coming, and he is coming across, so I've done an indicate. The car there would have just braked slowly behind the van and happily sat behind it, but he did indicate. It's just really bright, so it's quite hard to see. Again here, we're just gonna let the car decide what it wants to do. It knows that we're coming off. Upcoming lane change. Okay, so it wants me to get back into that first lane. So we'll cut across here, and then we'll get in after this Dalton delivers lorry, I guess. But you notice it didn't actually ping for us to change lanes. All it did was show us what lane we should be in. So again, I'm gonna wait for it to tell us to do anything before I do it. And, well, we got a lorry come out here. Is it gonna ask us to get around the lorry, or is it gonna just say sit behind the lorry? It says just to sit behind the lorry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna indicate left and go in this left lane, because we are gonna be coming off at the next junction, which is the welcome brake services, which is another 0.7 of a mile. So we're gonna try and go through this service center again with absolutely no stops. We were so close to doing it last time, and this is quite a fun game, to be totally honest, is trying to get through service centers. So let's give it a whirl. By just getting into this lane nice and early, the car obviously slows down a lot, so we're going down to 50 at the moment, sitting behind normal lorry speed. And then we should see the markers for how many yards it is coming up any second now. There it is, 300 yards. So here we go, we've got big lorries around us as well. Not sure if that's gonna make any difference. You can see that, oh, it told us to change lanes, then it told us not to. And is it gonna indicate? And there we go, indicating and going left with absolutely no problems. And you can see here, there's no one behind me, so I'm gonna let it go whatever speed it kind of wants to. Whoa, speeding up to 55. And now slowing back down to 50, which doesn't feel very natural because we're quite a way off here. So I'm gonna bring it down myself, and I'm gonna bring it all the way down to the speed limit of 20. Actually, I'll bring it down to 15, just to see if it'll do it. What lane's it gonna pick? It's picked it's aborted, sadly. I was a little bit worried about what lane it's gonna pick. And with that, you saw that it just completely aborted. All right, oh, so you see there, so it's stopping me going, as I go around these speed bumps, it thinks I'm actually coming off it. So it stops me and pushed me back on the road. It didn't do it that time though, just did it the first time. All right, how do I get out of this thing? This way. Oh, it actually will autopilot too, so let's bring it all the way down to 10 and just see what it does. Is this a two-way? I don't think this is, no, this is a one-way, so this is all right. Oh, over a speed bump. Turn, car, turn. What the hell? Why, like, it just didn't turn. What was up with that? That was really strange. Okay, oh, look at this pothole, my days. Oh, that's a big pothole. All right, so we're behind this lorry, and it says it will autopilot, so I'll just autopilot behind it. It's going like crazy though. You can see how it's reacting to all of these, and it's not quite sure where it wants to go, I don't think. It's trying to follow the lorry the best it can. No, aborting again. Yeah, so wanted to abort again. It just wasn't having it, as you saw. It just was not having it. Okay, so next stop is actually at the Tesla service center itself. So let's go onto that. I kind of want to do the on-ramp behind a lorry just to see what the car does. Oh my God, it's letting me. And it is on navigate and autopilot, so that is actually all legit. Okay, here it goes. Nice, you did that absolutely fine. Literally no problems at all. Maybe actually having the lorry in front might have helped, because it slowed us down and it made it quite easy to get on. Okay, there's a car right beside me now, so I'm gonna indicate. And you can see that the car waited for the car to come past, and then our car came out and decided to go. So it is watching at all times, and it is making sure that obviously you're nice and safe, and it won't do any turns. You know, it's overly safe. It won't do any crazy turns it shouldn't do. Let's give this a go. Is it gonna do it? Oh, it's braking, it's braking. Oh, it's a little bit wobbly. I don't like how that did that at all. That was not comfortable. If my partner was in the car when that did that, I think she would have shouted at me and told me to turn it off. Because again, it doesn't feel fully natural, which is the biggest problem. We've done it once there as we're behind it, and it did it. It was just a bit wobbly. Anytime like now, it will fail, fail, fail. Oh, it's asking us to do it. Okay, perfect. It's still gonna fail. It's still failing. Yeah, you saw that's the problem. So did you see that? The lorry in the visualization was in our lane for a split second, and that is the big issue, everybody. It's not 100% sure what lane it's in. So until it's fully sure, it kind of does this like, oh, I'm just gonna like push you across very, very slightly and very, very slowly. I will, however, change lanes now and try and change lanes and get into the adjacent lane of this lorry. And look at that, it did it. No problems at all, really smoothly. I'm actually really happy with that. That was very, very successful. Why doesn't it do that all the time? I don't know. It just doesn't seem to want to. So our next turnoff is in 1.5 miles. And something interesting actually about this turnoff is you can use the hard shoulder. So you can use the hard shoulder over there on the left for the junction. So I don't know if the car's gonna ask us to get into that hard shoulder lane or if it's gonna make us like turn off last second. We'll find out, we'll have a look. Aha, here you go. So hard shoulder ends just there on the left. Now what does the car asks us to go into that left lane, which we will do. No problems. And off we come on this exit. Now, I do need to kind of come off this and then go in the right lane here. So I'm intrigued to see what lane the car picks. I need the right one. Yeah, that is correct. You can see it indicated right there as well for me to get into this lane, which is good. And now it's slowing us right down. And how's the car gonna deal with this? So as you can see, autopilot is turning off here as we come down, super slow, getting us into that left lane. Okay, I'll get in that left lane again if that's what you want. There we go, it's changing lanes. Navigate and autopilot's turned off, but it's still changing lanes for me. Still doing all this, guys. Still doing all of this. Still going, cut across a lane there, and we're gonna be coming up to these lights, and I'm gonna have to take it off. You saw that it did go amber before it went red there on those lights, which is actually pretty cool to see. I've noticed recently for some reason, I think maybe it was because when I went out first it was raining. Now it actually picks up all of the oranges pretty well. That being said, it didn't pick up any of those orange lights on that one there. So yeah, that didn't work quite as planned. So I need to go into the right lane here. Will the car do it? No, the car won't do it. So I have to kind of pull over myself to bring it into this lane. And then we're going to be going right down here to the service center. I just want to try it again because there is like a closed dual carriage kind of way over here. So we need to put it back on for this little strip, and then we need to get over to the left. But you can see, no, look at that, it's not doing it. Is it going to do it now? Very clearly a dual carriageway. No, as you can see, not doing it, so I'm going to have to do it myself and slowly move the car over. So there we are, everybody. That is my Navigate on Autopilot journey down the motorway. Let me know what you think. Again, hit and miss. I use it a lot, but I know when not to use it as well, if that makes sense. There's some situations that it's terrifying and you just don't want to use it. So yeah, use it with caution. I'm going to Tesla now, going to go get some things fixed, and I guess I'll see you all in future videos. Don't forget, drive safe.